morning, guys. It's Dave. Welcome back. We're in Stagecast and Frame Squared. Well, this episode has had a lot of thought behind it. And I would like to introduce a new aspect to the game. Framed 1, or the first version of the game, did not have this. And I thought it was too hard back then, both to code and to actually be playable. I thought it got in the way. But I've been giving it some thought, and I think I came up with some nice ideas. So we're going to see if we can make that happen in this episode. Well, do you remember I had said that there was a variable that was going to get associated with this new piece? Well, I've decided that it'll work better if it's not a global variable, but a local variable to the actual character that we're talking about. And what I want to do, and it's actually going to be, we'll need two variables. The hidden one, or the special one I had referred to over here, is a direction variable. And for now, we'll just set this using compass point directions. So I'll say north. And then the other one is a timer. And for now, we'll set the timer to the same 25 that, do you remember our level timer? So every time one timer goes down from 25, this timer goes down by 1. All right, so for now, we'll leave this there, but we might modify that later on. We'll have to see. So I'm going to see, I want to see if I can't squeeze this into their own little column. Okay. All right. Well, what can we do here? I think what I would like to do is call this the fly. Okay. Simply because this thing is going to kind of fly around the screen and kind of get in our way, basically, while we're trying to solve the puzzle. But it's going to have some limitations. Just like we cannot do, it cannot fly off of the side and come in over here, okay, or fly off the bottom and come in the top. It cannot go past this bar up at the top, okay, and it cannot go through dots or go through us. So, excuse me. That means that, like, if he's in our vicinity and we just stop and kind of are maybe waiting for him to get out of the way, he's not going to be able to come over and fly right here and then cause us to lose the game. Okay? I want the only way to be losing the game to be our fault. We either made too many moves here, or, we ran out of time, or we actually purposely moved into a position and did that. Okay? Now, it's very possible that he could be in the vicinity and we move up into him, because our rules will allow it, where his rules will not allow it. Okay, so again, if he causes us to lose, it's because we did it, not him. Okay, well, the other thing I'm thinking about is I wanted to make it so that if he's flying across, and we're not going to make it totally random, because I think that looks a little strange. So that's where this dir variable is going to come in. We want to make it so, like right now it's set to dirn. So that means that he will fly north until he can no longer fly north. And if he hits a border, he'll have to randomly change directions. And when I was first toying around with this, I had him randomly changing so he could either go to the west or to the east, or even turn around and fly back south. Then I got thinking, I didn't know if he was flying north, should he turn around and fly south? I didn't know if that was a good thing. So what I think I'm going to do is make it so that his choices are going to be dependent upon the direction he's moving in. And then as I'm just talking, I'm looking at this dot over here, because if he was flying west, he couldn't fly north because that's there. But even if I put, I see it. Even if he chooses to go north, it would then immediately see he couldn't go north and then be given east and west. And even if he said west, that wouldn't work, so he'd have to go east, okay? And then the other thing is, if he's flying along and he comes upon a dot, like I said, he cannot fly through the dot, But what he will be able to do is jump over the dot. And when he gets over here, I want one of two things to happen. If he's flying west and he jumps over this dot, he should either continue to be facing west, which means he'd be going this way, or he would turn around and face east, which would put him in front of this dot, which would allow him to jump back over here. So the possibility would exist that he could come here and then go boom, 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 boom for a period of time until boom, 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 and then go off. It'll be totally random. And it's that piece that could really get in our way. Okay, again, he can't fly in here, but look, if we're moving this way while he's doing his little jump business, you know, what if he would have moved here at the instant we moved here? You see, then he would get us. Okay, so first thing I want to do is give him a look. And again, not being the artist, this game is particularly very easy on the graphics. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to need 4 of them so we can go north, south, east, and west. But it's real easy to make one and then just copy and rotate it to the others. So we're going to clear this out. Sorry, it's the morning. And today is a good one because my wife is downstairs with all 3 dogs cuddled up, and they aren't moving. And 2 of my kids are away, and 2 of my kids are still sleeping. So hopefully we'll have some good time. I was considering color, and I think I want to explore orange and another purple. And I'm envisioning, let's see, he's going to go north. So I'm envisioning a triangle. So I want to, actually, maybe we could even use the line to make this faster. I don't know how big we should make this triangle. And I only want the triangle to have 1 dot. So I think that might work. And then if I use another line along here, I think we could make him a little bit bigger. Let's try 2 more dots. And then straight out. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'll use the paint bucket to fill this triangle in. Okay, perfect. Now, I want to put this guy sort of in the middle. Not perfectly in the middle because I have something else in mind. So I'm going to use this triangle over here to kind of make the bottom of the triangle kind of line up with this. He's a fly, and I want to see if I can't steal an idea from the comics. I want to grab another purple, but this guy's going to be a lighter color purple. If you've ever read the comics and there's movement going on, maybe somebody threw a ball, you know, or something like that, there'd be all these little lines behind the ball to show the movement. I want to see if we can't steal that idea and come up with something like, I don't know, can I do this? Maybe something like that. And I'll try to reproduce it. Whoops. Reproduce that over here. What does it look like? A short one, a long, sort of a long one, and a short one. Yeah, and then if I click this, we can see, okay. And then maybe sort of in the middle, 2 shorter ones, maybe. Just 1 pixel followed by 2 and 2. Like that. Well, not too bad. And then, you know what, maybe if I go to the pencil, maybe 1 more dot on an angle on these 2 middle ones. That's not too bad. I'm looking at the outside ones, and I don't think they're angled enough. So I think what we'll do is erase these guys. I do want them to only be a dot away from the triangle. I don't want it to look like it's part of it. And you can actually see they're not connected. I want it to, you know, help us to figure out that it's movement. All right, now I want this to be longer. So maybe, yeah, you know what though? Can we undo? How about if we came in 1 more? How's that? That's not too bad. And I don't know, we'll see. What is it? 1, 2, 2, 2? 1, 2, 2, 2, like that, right? All right, now these we're going to have to move. When I tested this earlier, I had 4, and they actually looked really good. So maybe we'll do this. And I want these insider ones to be shorter. Maybe this will be 222 or something like that. Yeah. That's good. And again, there's about as much of this below this arrow as there is triangle above this arrow. Okay. All right, so that's our north. So then what we need to do is make 3 copies of this so that we can have a south and east and a west. All right, now we haven't done this, I don't think, on camera. So I want to take south and just flip them around. So if I go to edit, there's a bunch of things. We can rotate, we can flip horizontal, which is left and right, or what we want, vertical, which is up and down. Okay. All right, for east, he needs to be facing the right, and for that guy, we can just use rotate. See that? And I'm going to use this arrow to make sure that he still lines up, which is good. Okay, and then for west, we're going to start with a rotate, but then we're going to go to a flip horizontal. There we go. All right, so if we choose that, hit done, you see that? Okay. Good, that looks good. All right, so now I think we can get ready for some rules. We want him to fly in whatever direction this dir variable is set to, okay? And that's pretty easy. We do not want the fly to fly through things. So for this particular rule, we are not going to make use of that do not care. Okay, so really he will not fly if he's not alone, which means if he does happen to get himself in here because we move there, he's done and he won't fly out of the way. And he will not fly onto something, so he has to be alone. And he'll only be able to fly if there's something, or I'm sorry, if there's nothing in front of him. So like if he was here, he wouldn't fly because this thing's in the way. Okay, so we're going to say fly north. Okay, and again, we want to make sure that he is set to north and that dir is set to north, because he'll only fly north when dir is set to north. Okay, and then we will move him up. All right, this might seem a little redundant. Like you might think this is all we need to do to check, but we are going to need both of these for rules later on, and you'll see why in a little bit. Okay, so that's really all we need for that. However, we have this timer in here, so I'm going to bring the timer in. This timer should slow him down. So I'm going to say if the timer is 0. Okay, so if I hit done, all right, now if I position him and I hit play, we could wait here forever and nothing's going to happen because our timer isn't doing anything. So before we do the other directions, let's do the rules for the timer, okay? And we can actually do those rules on the fly as well. So we don't have to span out the spotlight at all. So we're going to need 2 rules, a decrement timer. All right, we don't care what the fly looks like. We just want it to be a fly character. All right, and actually what we could do over here for a test is we could say, and I don't think I can drag this guy over, can I? Oh, I can. Good. We could say if the timer was greater than 0, then we could say subtract 1 from the timer. Okay, so that'll get the timer to start going down. The other rule we would need is the rule that would reset the timer. So we're going to say reset timer. And because the movement rules are looking to see if the timer hit 0, we're going to have to do something a little different here. So we're going to say, I don't care what appearance he looks like, but we are going to bring this over. So I don't want to say if the timer is 0. I'm going to say if the timer is less than 0, which means a -1 and -2. That way the move rules will still catch it at 0. Okay, then we'll reset it to 25. Okay? All right. And then before we test it, these have to happen all the time. All right? Which means we have to put them into a special drawer so that the game will execute these rules and then go looking for other things it knows how to do. So we're going to use one of these do all and continue. And this time around, I think the only thing we're going to do in here is timers. So I will put the decrement timer in. I will put the reset timer in. Then if I open this drawer, do you notice reset is on top? I want it to be able to reset it as soon as possible. All right? Okay, so now if I leave this all open and I hit play, you'll notice, whoa, that was not right. All right, what just happened? Let's check this out. Reset timer. If you're a fly character and timer is less than 0, yeah, then put 25 into timer. That was right. Let's try this. Did I goof over here? If timer is greater than 0, meaning it's a 1 or a 2 or a 3, then subtract 1 from, all right, that was all perfect. So what was going on here? Let's put this back to 25. I'm going to slow this down so we can see what's actually, let's go real slow. You know what? We'll do this one at a time. You see here the timer? So we'll just click this a bunch of times. Okay, now let's see what happens when I hit 0. Okay, he moved at 0 like he's supposed to do. But now what happens? All right, for some reason. Oh. Yes. Greater than 0. He won't reset unless it's below 0. So what we have to do is we have to say, if the timer is less than 0, okay, we don't want it to reset at 0. We want it to reset below 0. Okay, so now, all right, we'll set this back to 25. And I won't do the step this time because I believe that's all we need. So let's give it a shot. And he's not decreasing. If timer is less than 0, I think I did that wrong. I'm sorry. If timer is greater than 0, decrement the timer. I think it was this one. Yes. This one, that's not right. If timer, we're going to get rid of this change. We're going to get rid of this totally. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Okay. So at the same speed that that timer is moving, our fly is moving. All right, let's try that again. All right, so watch the number as he's moving. You see, every time it moves, the fly moves. Okay? All right, now we're going to stop. We've got fly north, so let's try a fly south. So when he's ready to fly south, he'll look like he's ready to fly south, and then DIR will say south. Okay, we're going to have rules that set these later, but those are interesting rules. Let's do the easier ones, okay? All right, so now that the timer's done, all we have to do is make sure that it's set to south, make sure that DIR is set to south, make sure that the timer hit 0. Then drag him down, whoops, drag him down, come on, to south, and that should appear over here. See that? And we're going to call this fly south. Okay, and again, I should be able to run a test, and boom, 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 there he goes again. All right, wait a second. Oh, here we go. Okay, because we weren't doing it was above this. Okay, it's got to be below. There we go. See that? All right, we got 2 more to do. So move them up. See, right here, it looks like an empty one. Let's go to east. Set it to east. Okay. We'll say, this time we'll do it all over here. We'll say fly to the east. We'll even call it fly east. And over here, remember, 3 checks we want. Are you facing east? Is your dir variable set to east? And is your timer 0? So this time he's going to move right away because that timer's at 2. Okay, and again, if you leave him up here, he's going to fly away. So we'll put it down here. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, flip him around to west. Set him to be going west. Rule. Span it out. Move him west. Tell it he's flying west. Yes, you're looking west. Yes, your dir is west. And is your timer 0? Okay, and again, under actions, it already says we're moving them. Okay, and again, don't put it above. This do all's got to be at the top. So we'll put this at the bottom, and we'll play it. You see that? All right, now this time if I let him go, he's going to get here and nothing's going to happen. See that? He bumped. Okay, so we'll hit stop. Okay, let's take care of a little bit of house cleaning. We'll call this general movement. And again, north, south, east, west. So I want west first, then east, then south, then north. It kind of stacks them the way you put them in. See that? North, south, east, west. Okay. And again, this must be below the timers. Okay. All right, so now there's 2 more things that have to happen with the fly so that he can fully operate. Okay. I'm going to keep him west, but I'm going to move him over here so we can get a better shot at it. When he gets in this position, when he's facing to the west in front of a dot, we want him to jump over the dot and then either continue looking this way or flip to this way. Okay? Well, here's how that's going to work. Okay, this one's going to use something new. We're going to span it out. Okay, so this is saying, are we a fly facing west with nothing else in the box? Am I in front of a dot with nothing else in the box? And is there nothing in the box past the dot? Okay, we can call it jump west. Okay, so if we go over to the left, all right, it's saying, are you a fly facing west? We aren't going to put a check in here, okay? Because it's basically, if we don't put a check in, it's basically saying, are you a dot? Whether it's a blue one, a green one that says S, a green one that says E, or one of the pink ones from easy mode, okay? It's just a dot, okay? And then nothing here, all right? We can put the check in to make sure he's going west, okay? And then to make the jumping a little cooler looking, we're not going to put a timer check in. So the jumping could happen real fast, whereas the movement is a little slower, okay? So I do not want to do a timer check. All right, so here's where it gets interesting. First thing is easy. We need to move him over here, okay? Now here's where it gets interesting. We're going to use 2 of these boxes, okay? The first box, we're going to put a new value into dir. The second box, we're going to put a new value into appearance, okay? All right, this has to be a calculated value. So we're going to make use of the calculator that's up here. But we're going to do something a little beyond regular math, okay? If we jump to the other side of this, he should either face the east or face the west. So that's 2 choices he gets to make. So the first thing we want the computer to do is pick a random number, that's this little dice, between 1 and 2, okay? Now that's not good enough. We actually have to come down here and hit the equal sign, okay? See this? I don't know why this is here, but this is the random number. So that time around, it shows a random number of 2. In this box, just like other variables, we can give it a name. 1 or 2. Okay? All right, so now we know the random number it needs. But as far as dir and the appearance go, it doesn't know 1s and 2s. It knows n's, s's, e's, and w's. So here's what we're going to do, and this is where it gets a little weird. In this display, we're going to type in east, west. No spaces, commas, quotes, nothing. Just an E and a W, 2 characters. Okay? Then we're going to make use of a text function. So I'm going to click the text button, and I'll just move it down here so we can see it. A whole bunch of cool things down here. We want char number. It actually means character number. So I'm going to click that one. See how that pops in? And then I'm going to come up to this little variable that it just pulled, grab it by its gray, and I'm going to drag that and drop it in the display. See that? Now this time around, it shows a 1. And the first character in this little string is an E. And then new dir. Okay? Now, to put this into a rule, we don't use this stuff. We use the calculation over here. See the E here? It's also here. So for calculation, I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to say east or west. You see that? And now I want to grab it right here and drag it. And I'm going to drop that in the first box. Can I get it in there? There it goes. Whoops. You see that? This is why I name it. So put east or west into dir. And you'll actually see over here, put a W in. Okay? All right, now, you would think then you would put it down here. But remember, if I double-click this and I look at what's going on in the calculator, the first thing it's doing is picking a random number. All right? So if I did that, it's possible that it'll pick the opposite direction. That's not what we want. But if we look at what's going on, this is where it's picking the random number, which then converts into east or west. Then we're putting that into dir, right? The appearance is called the same thing dir is. So I'm going to grab dir and drop it in the appearance. Do you see that? That's all it takes. Okay, so I'm going to hit done, and we're going to give this a shot. It's set to west. We'll put it a few blocks in front of a dot. So when I hit play with the timer, it'll slowly move to here. When it gets to here, it's immediately going to quickly jump here and either continue going this way, or it's going to turn and face east. Now, we don't have a rule for east yet, so if it does that, it's just going to stop. Okay? Before I hit it, I need to move this down here. Okay? Actually, I'm going to put it here. I want the jumps to have priority over the movement. Okay? All right, let's see. Okay, that time it flipped to east. All right, so let's try it again. There's back to west. We'll pull him over here. We'll set him to west. Let's see what he does this time. Again, east again. All right, let's do it again. Back to west. Do it again. This time, see that? He jumped over real quick and continued going west. Okay, perfect. All right, now let's do the opposite. We'll put him in front of the dot this time. Excuse me. We'll make him go east. Whoops. East. Okay. So let's do this again slowly. We need to span him out. All right. You are alone facing west, or I'm sorry, facing east. A dot is alone. There should be nothing there. First thing that has to happen is he hops over here. Okay. Come over to the window. Jump east. If I flip this around, the only check we need to do is to make sure he's facing east and the dir is facing east. We're not doing the timer. Okay. Ooh, I'm in the red. Okay, I don't know how long I'm in the red, but we'll finish this rule and then we'll call it quits. All right, so now let's do the things we need to do. I've been using this. I could do this too. I need to set something into dir. I need to set something into appearance. I could have done it that way too. Okay. Then, since I know that this one is going to get populated by dir, I could do that. So then the only thing we got to do is the calculator. All right. And if you remember the calculator, pick a random number from 1 to 2. Okay. Enter it in. You got to hit the equal sign. All right. Help yourself out by saying what it's doing. We're picking a 1 or a 2. Okay. Again, in this instance, we want it to go east or west. It doesn't matter. I could go W and E. It doesn't matter the order. Okay. Then I'm going to use a text, character number, this guy. All right. And since I went WE, I'll just call it here west or east. Okay. And then, actually, no. We called this what? New dir. Okay. And up here, we'll say west or east. Hit enter. And then the last thing is to grab it, put it right here. Okay. All right. So I'll hit done. All right. We'll give it a shot. It's facing east. Let's give it a shot. All right. He continued east. Now I'm going to let him go because there's another dot over here. Let's see what he does here. Oh, see, he continued. All right, let's continue to have some fun. Let's see, there's 2 here. There's 3 here. Let's go over here. So he's got 3 possibilities on this row. See that? Now he's going to run into the side and not do anything. Okay? All right. I think I'm going to give you some homework. We just did jump east. All right? And jump west. Let's see, for homework, why don't you see if you can't do jump north and jump south? I'll quickly run through it at the start of our next video, but that'll get us started, okay? So when we're done, we'll have all 4 of the jumps, okay? All right, so until next time, this is Dave. We're in Stagecast working on Frame Squared. We are getting real close to being ready to do some level development. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.